Jesus can come in at any time, at any temperature, and he can change the whole thing around. He'll let the fire do fire stuff, but he will do something for you in the midst of the fire.
Welcome to Concepts for Living. This service is coming to you from the Chapel of the Anointing. We invite you to stay tuned for a life-changing word.
The scriptures ask the question, who among you shall dwell with the devouring fire? Fire, by nature, destroys, but who shall dwell with it? Hi, and welcome to Concepts for Living. I'm going to share with you in this message that God deserves the glory because He's the one that can enable us to dwell with the devouring fire. You may not understand this fully right now, but I just want you to repeat this. You deserve the glory. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sing the song. I just say, you deserve the glory. I'm just letting you know I can hold a note. You deserve the glory. Shout it out. It's going to make a difference in your walk, in your life, in your situation, because I come this morning not to give you a sermon. I come to bring a prophetic word to somebody that no matter how hot your furnace, He's going to bring you out. And I hope when you come out, you'll say, you deserve the glory. Take your seat real quick, and I'm going to share with you what the Holy Spirit has downloaded into my spirit. Do you remember St. Paul made this statement? It's a very profound and pragmatic statement, and it's an injunction. What he says is this. He says, whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Whatever you do, whatever you go through, do all to the glory of God. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. You see, this must be the ultimate aim of every created creature of God. Even the flowers give Him glory. The fish of the sea, the birds of the air, give Him glory. Oh, yes. Our mandate as the creation of God is to bring Him glory. He has created such an awesome thing in man that He takes us now and shows us off in the showcase of the world so the world can look at us and say, oh my dear, look at that. Look at how they're living. Look at how they appear. Look at how they stand in the midst of storms. Look at how they overcome. Look. We're the creation of God and ought to be bringing God glory. Not for your praise, not to make you look like somebody special, strutting your stuff. Everything you and I go through, if you get nothing else I say today, every experience, every circumstance that we go through is only an opportunity to give God glory. He deserves the glory. He deserves the honor. The New International Version renders Exodus chapter 14, verse 17 like this. It says, I will gain glory through Pharaoh. Now, those words are significant in the sense that it came at a time when Pharaoh was pursuing Moses and the people of God after they had been let go from Egypt. They're making their way to the Red Sea, but in the midst of it, Moses gets a word from the Lord. And the word from the Lord to Moses is, no matter how they pursue you, no matter what the enemy is trying to plot and plan against you, I want you to know that I'm controlling all of this. So what will happen is I'm going to get my glory out of whatever Pharaoh is doing, and he doesn't know it. I'm even going to get my glory and my honor from him, though he appears to be my enemy. That's why we can appreciate when God called Moses and he said, go to Pharaoh, tell him I said, let my people go. That sounds pretty good. But then God said, and I'm going to make his hard, so it's going to be hard for him to let him go. But God said, I'm doing all of that so I can get my glory. Somebody got this? Okay? So a lot of what we go through is not about us. It's so that God might be able to get some glory out of us. Are you with me? So that the enemy might know that no matter what weapon he comes with, we are confident it will not prosper. And so we stand in the midst of it and we declare, God, get your glory. And so we come to the context of this text. And it's possible for us to read in chapter 3 and don't appreciate really where this is all coming from. This is about conflict, people. This is about the Babylonian king in Nebuchadnezzar coming against God's people in Judah. And he is now launching a siege on the city. And he is not only launching this siege, but then he wants to take all of the utensils out of the sanctuary. And not only that, he wants to take the best of the population captive. Well, let's read it together. Look in chapter 1 of this same book of Daniel. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into the hand with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. It's really saying that God is using Nebuchadnezzar to perform siege against his own people so that he can get his honor and get his glory. He's using the situation out of his own control. Watch this. It's not about Nebuchadnezzar. Don't you push out your big chest and act like you're all that, because you couldn't do it unless God permitted it. So what is being experienced is a setup. So God now is releasing Judah and Jehoiakim and all, even the vessels that are in the house of God, into the hands of the enemy to take back to his gods. How bad does God want glory from us? How desperate his longing for glory from us. That he would do something so extraordinary to cause his people to be attacked and then to be taken captive. And not only that, but he now wants the best of the young men in the population. So if you read the following verses, you'll see that they are instructed to gather up the young. Come on down to verse 4. It says, the children in whom was no blemish, the most favored, the most valued, the most skillful, the most wise, the most knowledgeable, the most cunning, and the most with understanding in science. Those who are worthy to have such stature as to stand into the presence of King Nebuchadnezzar. Let me tell you something. That God knows whenever the devil comes after us, he wants the best. You're not listening. It says something about our value when we are attacked on every side, because he knows we got something going on. Are you with me? He knows that he knows he knows that we are of quality. And so he comes to get the best. And by the way, he's doing the same thing in our country right now. He wants the best of the land, the most with the most potential, those that have gifts and abilities locked up in their very being that they don't even realize, but the enemy knows the gift is there. Well, the 3 points of this message: the conflict, the conviction, and the contribution. Stay tuned. You will be further blessed through this message. I'm so happy this morning that we can develop a conviction. Convictions are born out of principles that have been embraced by one who really and truly believes it. That if nobody else believes, you believe it. And your conviction will help you. I talked to a young man not long ago. He was, excited about his degree and, and theologically, and he's going on, man, I got this thing. I got my MD. Now I can go and pray. I said, wait a minute. Son, don't base your future on your gift. Because your gift will get you there, but only your character will keep you there. You need to build character, son. You know how to control your temper. You need to learn how you can bring things about by the power of prayer. You need to know that loneliness is not always a deficit in your life. Sometimes you're going to start thanking God for being alone. Huh? Am I right? Never alone. He promised never to leave me. No. Never to leave me alone. But so that means even when it looks like I'm alone, don't worry about it. I got somebody going with me. Don't worry. That's what Elijah's servant had to understand when he was going through and saw that here were the armies of Syria that had surrounded the city, and he's all panicky, and he says, "Oh, Elisha, what are we gonna do?" He says, because the enemy is surrounding the city. And Elisha was just so cool. He said, Lord, open his eyes. Because he sees that, but he don't see what I see. Just like you may not see what I'm seeing this morning. But my duty is to release this word to you. Because what you don't understand is that whatever furnace you are in, somebody up in here is about ready to discover that your furnace does not determine your destination. You don't have to think that that is it for me. You're coming out of that thing. I wish I had 5 people who could believe that you're coming out of it. You're coming out of your furnace. Come on, say conviction. They had conviction. Well, when you start reading from verse 14 down, listen to him. And he said, hey, come, I'm going to give you one more chance. That's why you see that. He says, if you're ready. In other words, if you're ready, I'm going to give you one more chance. Because I heard that you have, rebelled against my command. My command is that when you hear the sound of the music playing, I want you to bow down and worship the image that I have made. That's it. Now, I understand that you have challenged that particular command, and you have not bowed down. I want to know. Now, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So I'm not going to. So I want to know, are you ready now that when you hear the sound of the instruments playing and the music coming forward, that you will bow down? That's what happens to people that have conviction. They get challenged to compromise. Maybe if it ain't gonna hurt me, in my heart, I know that I'm serving Jehovah God, but I will bow down. No, we're not even gonna talk about it. Isn't it wonderful that there are some things you don't have to explain to people, that you don't have to talk to people about? They can think what they want, act any way they want, but in the final analysis, I'm not obligated to tell you what I know in my spirit that God said to me. But I'm grateful that if we could just have a conviction. Well, as always, we sincerely trust that this message has challenged you and inspired you to, if nothing else, to know how you can dwell with any fiery situation. You'll discover that the Lord can be with you in the midst of your furnace, and you can be delivered. Well, like us on Facebook and send us an email. Let us know how this message has impacted your life. So until next time, when we shall come to you with more concepts for living, may God bless you and yours.
Thank you for viewing Concepts for Living. If you would like a CD, DVD, or download the entire message, go to our website, www.fcogchapel.org. We would like to hear from you. Please send an email for prayer or send a praise report on how God is blessing you through this program. We invite you to join us again for another Concepts for Living.